What if I told you that some of the wildest American muscle cars and sports cars ever designed were never sold to the public? Cars that could have changed history, embarrassed the competition, and completely rewritten what brands like Pontiac, Chevrolet, Dodge, and Ford became. Today, we're counting down 7 of the most incredible American concept cars that never made it to production. And trust me, number 1 still has enthusiasts wondering what could have been. Coming in at number 7 is the 1997 Dodge Copperhead. The late 1990s were a fascinating time for Dodge. The Viper had already proven that Dodge could build a serious performance car, and the company wanted to capture some of that excitement in a smaller, more affordable package. Enter the Dodge Copperhead. Unlike the brutal V10 powered Viper, the Copperhead was designed as a lightweight roadster that everyday enthusiasts could actually afford. Under the hood sat a 2.7-liter V6 producing around 220 horsepower, paired with a 5-speed manual transmission. Those numbers might not sound earth-shattering today, but remember, this car weighed only about 2,500 pounds. The styling was unmistakably Dodge. Wide fenders, rounded curves, aggressive proportions, and just enough Viper DNA to make people look twice. The interior was refreshingly simple, focusing on the driving experience rather than luxury. Unfortunately, internal politics got in the way. At the time, Chrysler already owned Plymouth, which was selling the Prowler, and executives worried the Copperhead would compete with existing models. The project quietly died. Today, enthusiasts still wonder if Dodge missed the chance to build an American answer to the Mazda Miata. Number 6, the 1986 Chevrolet Indy. If there was ever a concept car that screamed future, it was the Chevrolet Indy. Built for the 1986 Detroit Auto Show, the Chevy Indy looked like it had driven straight out of a science fiction movie. Its low, wedge-shaped body, enormous air intakes, fighter jet canopy, and race-inspired cockpit made it one of the wildest American concepts ever created. The original prototype even featured a twin-turbocharged 2.6-liter V8 mounted behind the driver, producing roughly 600 horsepower. Yes, 600 horsepower in 1986. It was designed to celebrate Chevrolet's involvement in IndyCar racing, and every inch of the car reflected motorsports technology. Carbon fiber construction, advanced aerodynamics, digital instrumentation. It had it all. Although a production version was never realistic due to cost, many of its design ideas lived on. Look closely, and you'll see hints of the 4th-generation Corvette and later Chevrolet sports cars. The Chevy Indy proved that sometimes concept cars don't need to reach production to influence the future. Number 5, the 1995 Ford GT90. The GT40 dominated Le Mans in the 1960s. 30 years later, Ford wanted to remind everyone they still knew how to build an outrageous supercar. The result was the GT90. If the GT40 represented the past, the GT90 represented pure insanity. Its angular, new edge styling looked unlike anything else on the road. Every surface was sharp, dramatic, and futuristic. Hidden beneath the carbon fiber body sat one of the craziest engines Ford has ever assembled. A massive quad-turbocharged 5.9-liter V12. The output? An unbelievable 720 horsepower. Ford claimed the GT90 could exceed 235 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest concept cars of its era. Unfortunately, the technology required to build it was simply too expensive. Instead, Ford shelved the project. Thankfully, many years later, the company returned to the supercar world with the Ford GT, but the GT90 remains one of the wildest what-if stories in automotive history. Number 4, the 2002 Cadillac Cien. By the early 2000s, Cadillac desperately wanted to reinvent itself. They wanted younger buyers, more excitement, more performance. So for the company's 100th anniversary, Cadillac revealed something nobody expected: the Cadillac Cien. Quick question for you guys. Out of every concept car you've ever seen, which one deserved to reach production the most? Was it one on today's list? Or is there another forgotten classic concept car you'd love to own? Drop your pick down in the comments. I'm really curious to see which car gets mentioned the most. Back to the Cien. Powered by a naturally aspirated 7.5-liter V12 producing around 750 horsepower, this mid-engine supercar looked ready to battle Ferrari and Lamborghini. It featured scissor doors, an aluminum space frame, active aerodynamics, and styling that still looks modern over 20 years later. The performance estimates were equally impressive. 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Top speed approaching 220 miles per hour. Sadly, General Motors never approved production. The Cien became another spectacular dream left sitting in the design studio. Number 3. The 2004 Chrysler ME Four-Twelve. Some people forget that Chrysler once seriously considered building one of the fastest production cars in the world. The ME Four-Twelve wasn't just a concept. It was almost production-ready. Powered by a quad-turbocharged Mercedes-derived V12 producing roughly 850 horsepower and over 850 pound-feet of torque, this machine promised truly absurd performance. 0 to 60 in around 2.9 seconds. Top speed estimated at over 240 miles per hour. Those numbers would have placed it among the fastest cars on Earth. Its carbon fiber chassis and advanced engineering showed just how ambitious Chrysler had become during the Daimler-Chrysler era. Prototype testing reportedly went extremely well, but rising costs and changing corporate priorities killed the project before customers ever had a chance to buy one. Many enthusiasts believe it would have become America's first true modern hypercar. Number 2. The 1964 Pontiac Banshee. This is the concept that may have changed automotive history more than any other on this list. John DeLorean envisioned the Pontiac Banshee as a lightweight two-seat sports car positioned below the Corvette. It was sleek, it was affordable, and perhaps most importantly, it was incredibly good-looking. Available with either a 6-cylinder or V8 engine, the Banshee had all the ingredients to become Pontiac's next icon. There was just one problem. General Motors executives believed it was simply too good. Specifically, they worried buyers would choose the Banshee instead of the Corvette. Rather than risk competing against their own flagship sports car, GM canceled the project. Ironically, many of the Banshee's styling cues eventually appeared on later Corvettes. So while the Banshee never reached dealerships, its influence absolutely did. Number 1. The 2016 Buick Avista. Sometimes a concept car is so realistic that everyone assumes it's definitely going into production. That's exactly what happened with the Buick Avista. When it debuted at the Detroit Auto Show in 2016, automotive journalists and enthusiasts immediately fell in love. Long hood, short rear deck, rear-wheel drive, elegant proportions, a luxurious interior. Everything about the Avista looked production-ready. Power came from a twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 producing around 400 horsepower, sending power to the rear wheels through an 8-speed automatic. It perfectly blended American grand touring comfort with serious performance. Many believed Buick had finally found the halo car it desperately needed. Then, nothing happened. Changing market demand, shrinking coupe sales, and GM's increasing focus on SUVs ended the project before it had a chance. To this day, the Avista remains one of the biggest missed opportunities of the modern automotive era. From the Pontiac Banshee to the Buick Avista, these American concept cars prove that some of the greatest automotive designs never make it beyond the prototype stage. Some were canceled because they were too expensive. Some were victims of corporate politics. And some were simply ahead of their time. But all of them left enthusiasts wondering what might have been. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more videos covering classic cars, American muscle, forgotten concept cars, rare prototypes, NASCAR history, and automotive legends. And if you could bring one of these 7 concept cars into production today, which one would you choose? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.